afternoon, Year 3. It's really lovely to have you here for today's art lesson. So today's art lesson is going to look at shading, thinking about our drawing project that we did last term using our Coke cans. And we were changing, if you remember, changing the pressure. So how hard or how lightly we press down on our pencil, like this, if you remember. So we've got dark tones to create tone, mid-tones, and then the lightest tone of all, almost getting to white. So we're going to actually carry on that lesson today. But this time we're not going to be shading with our pencil. We're going to use a felt tip pen and water with a paintbrush to create the tone in our drawing today. And we're actually going to turn our drawing into almost a watercolour painting. So the felt tip pen, let's start with the felt tip pen that we need. The felt tip pen that you need needs to be water soluble. So that means that the ink will need to dissolve in water. So I've just got an everyday colouring felt tip pen here. I'm using a black one, but you might find that you haven't got a black one at home, or maybe your black one's run out. Any colour will be fine, but darker colour would be better. So maybe dark green or dark blue or sort of a dark purple might work better, but you could try any colours and experiment and see what you're happy with. So if I just place some water on top of that felt tip pen mark, can you see that the water starts to dissolve the ink? It doesn't move all of the ink, just some of it. And the more water I add, the lighter the tone becomes. Can you see? So what we're going to need today then is a felt tip pen that is water soluble. If you use a felt tip pen like these, I've got a dry white marker here and a Sharpie, the ink won't move. So there's the Sharpie mark and the dry white marker there. If we use the water on those, nothing happens. Okay, so you need to make sure that your felt tip pen is water soluble. So test them out on a scrap piece of paper first. So your felt tip pen, I'm going to need a paintbrush and some water. So I've got a little pot here with some water in. Going to need some paper. You don't need any kind of fancy art paper. In fact, just box standard printer paper like I've got here is the best. Something that's not too absorbent. That means that it doesn't soak up the ink, because we want the ink to be sitting on the top of the paper for this to work. You might find that you've only got a notebook at home with lines in. That doesn't matter either. So whatever you can lay your hands on, even if you have to open up a cereal box. So I thought if you didn't have any paper at home, if you flattened an empty cereal box and then you open up the seam here, inside we've got some nice white card, so you could use that instead. Then we're going to need a pencil to sketch with and then some objects to draw. Now I've been outside and found some leaves. I was looking for leaves that had an interesting shape to them, so I really like the outline of these leaves. And also if I hold this to the light, I'm sorry, the light's a bit rubbish in here today. If I hold that, turn that to the light, you can see the detail then in the leaf, all of the veins. You might have an object like a jam jar at home. I've also got trusty old Coke can like we've used last term. You could draw from observation the Coke can in the same way that we drew the outlines last term, but then the shading will come from the use of the felt tip pen and not from your pencil this time. Doesn't really matter about the object, it's whatever you can find at home will work. Okay, so I very quickly already sketched out the outline of my leaves here. I have used my sketching hold, so I'm holding my pencil halfway with a loose hand, loose wrist, so that my movement is quite free, and I've just sketched the outlines briefly onto my paper. Not pressing hard because I don't really want to see the pencil lines. And then I'm going to use my felt tip pen. I'm actually going to hold my felt tip pen as well in the sketching hold halfway down. And I'm just going to go in now and sketch over the top of my pencil. The pencil line underneath just means that I won't make any silly mistakes, because obviously I wouldn't be able to change them once I'd added the felt tip pen outline. I'm just going to go over here my drawing. Now you at home would spend a lot more time getting this right. Let's just add in the stem of my leaf here. Okay, now I'm going to go in and add the vein detail. So spend some time really looking at the leaf. I'm going to do this one here. Spend some time looking at the detail. So here I've got a really long vein that goes almost to the edge, and one here sort of has a bit of a dip there, and then the rest of the veins look like they come off from those three veins. So where does that one go? That one's got a bit that disappears there. Tiny one this side I can see. So I'm really just looking all the time. Remember, drawing from observation is looking at the object that you are drawing. Oh look, there's a long, didn't notice that first of all, it's quite faint. There's a long vein there as well. Just going to draw that one in. There's one here. Okay, so that's my outline made with my felt tip pen. I did add a little bit of darker shading here, tones with my felt tip pen on the stem. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my my paintbrush dipped in the water, and we're going to now use that to move the felt tip pen around on the paper to create some mid-tones. Remember, those are those middle tones of grey in between the black and the white, and hopefully we will start to make our drawing look a little bit more realistic. So I am just using the water on my paintbrush to gently move the felt tip pen around. I'm not going to colour the whole of the white space that we can see with the felt tip pen. I just want to use the mid-tones to add more of a 3D element to it. So if I go back in now and clean my brush with some clean water, I can then pull that ink further this way and create an even lighter tone. So can you see how much darker it is that side? Just pull that here just to blend it into the white so it's not such a hard change. Again, just using some clean water to pour that ink into the white, just to blend it so it has a bit of a softer change in tone. Now I've got quite a lot of ink here, so I could use that to pull up into my leaf from that stem, just to make it a bit darker. Now I've actually made a little bit of a mistake there, so actually I've got here a piece of clean paper towel from the kitchen, and I could use that to blot off the water if I've got too much water poured on the paper from the paintbrush. So if you haven't got any kitchen paper, perhaps you could use a tissue or even a piece of clean loo roll. Hopefully everybody's got enough toilet paper in this lockdown. Happy New Year to everybody as well. Forgot to say that at the beginning. There's been so much to do at school when we came back to school on Tuesday with the sudden government changes that I almost forgot about Christmas, and it's been Christmas and New Year. So I hope you've had a lovely Christmas holiday, everybody, and that Father Christmas was kind to you, and you were lucky enough to get some presents and maybe some nice chocolate. Hopefully you've finished eating all your chocolate now, and now you're healthy eating while you're at home, which is something I'm trying to do. And then it's a funny time, isn't it, to wish everybody a happy new year when the coronavirus is making us stay away from school at the moment. But I hope that you're keeping happy and you are logging on to our Zoom sessions that we're providing for you from school to try to make life as normal as possible. Keep up with your schooling. Pop on to Zoom and let us know how you are. Have a chat. Have a chance to chat to your rest of your classmates as well, which is a nice way to actually see everybody. There, I'm going to finish that in a little while. So I would love for you to have a go. If you would kindly take a photograph and then email that into the class email address, I would absolutely love to see your finished drawings or paintings almost, because they're like paintings, aren't they? You might want to do just one, you might end up doing several, but send them all over to me to have a look at, and then I look forward to sharing with you another project tomorrow afternoon. So have fun, everybody. Make sure that you keep safe at home, and please log on to our Zooms and say hi. Bye for now.